Hello everyone. Welcome to this session. Today is the last day of KEA Assistant Professor Model Exam in our channel.
Calorie track.
We will do amazing 50 questions today. Are you ready? Yes. Guys, ready for the first question? We have a model test, online model test also running. If you're interested, you can join. Now, Geoffrey Chaucer has been called the father of English poetry. Who hailed Chaucer as the first finder in our fair language? Geoffrey Chaucer has been called the father of English poetry by Dryden. Who hailed Chaucer as the first finder in our fair language? Do you know? Is it William Langland? William Thomas Husk or John Lydgate? Bolo, Thomas Hoccleve is correct. Thomas Hoccleve. Okay. Then, the first recorded association of Valentine's Day with romantic love is believed to be in Chaucer's which book? The first recorded association of Valentine's Day. In which book of Chaucer is Valentine's Day associated with romantic love, Bolo? Lydgate called him the lodestar of English language. Yes. Many of you are getting it right. It is Parliament of Fowls. Correct. It is in Parliament of Fowls. Geoffrey Chaucer is ranked one of the greatest poets of the late Middle Ages. He was admired for his philosophy as well as for his poetic talents. With Chaucer is born our real poetry. Who holds this view, Bolo? Geoffrey Chaucer is ranked as one of the greatest poets of the Middle Ages. He was admired for his philosophy as well as poetic talents. With Chaucer is born our real poetry. Who said that? It is Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold. Which of the following is Gower's 30,000 lined poem in octosyllabic English couplets? Which of the following is Gower's 30,000 lined poems? Do you know? In octosyllabic couplets. Wow, it makes use of the structure of a Christian confession. It is Gower's Confessio Amantis. Chaucer's contemporary, Gower, who wrote Confessio Amantis. Which of the following is not a work by the English poet John Gower? Which of the following is not a work by the English poet John Gower? It is the last one. Confessio amantis, vox clamantis, and mirror de l'homme means the mirror of one meditating, means speculum meditandis. That's right, guys. You are right. Which among the following is not true about William Langland's pious plowman? Which of the following is not true? It is a mixture of theological allegory and social satire. Is it correct? The poem begins in Malvern Hills. The poem is divided into passes. All are true. That's right. All these are true about Langland's pious plowman. It's a mixture of theological allegory and social satire. The poem begins in the Malvern Hills. The poem is divided into passes. Who is characterized as the evening star of scholasticism? Or evening star of Reformation also. It is John Wycliffe. John Wycliffe. Okay. Who were often designated by their opponents as Bible men. Who were called by their opponents as Bible men. It is the Lollards or the Wycliffites, the followers of John Wycliffe. The Lollards or Wycliffites. In the novel A Sentimental Journey Through France and Italy by Laurence Sterne, which of the play by Shakespeare is read by the character Count? Which play by Shakespeare is read by the character Count? Do you know? A Sentimental Journey Through France and Italy. The Shakespearean play is Hamlet. Hamlet. Many of you are telling me very good answers, very good points. Thank you, guys. Which of the following novels? In which of the following novels do we find the character Roger Solmes? In which novel do you have the character Roger Solmes? It is in Clarissa. Morning star of Reformation is John Wycliffe. Okay, Afra? Now, Clarissa has the character Roger Solmes. Clarissa's family wants her to marry Roger Solmes, but she runs away with Lovelace, but he rapes her. He turns out to be a very evil man. Which of these novels is not written in epistolary form? Clarissa, Sir Charles Grandison, Pamela, Amelia. Amelia is by Henry Fielding. It is not written in epistolary form. Amelia is not written in epistolary form. In which of the following poems did William Blake use Plato's allegory of the cave as a theme? Plato's allegory of the cave is a theme in which of these poems? Bolo? Do you know, guys? Plato talked about allegory of the cave. In which poem did William Blake use it as a theme? It is Vision of the Daughters of Albion. Vision of the Daughters of Albion. Listen to this, guys. I wander through each chartered street, near where the chartered Thames does flow, and make in every phase I meet marks of weakness, marks of woe. Do you have any idea which is the poem? I wander through each chartered street, near where the chartered Thames did flow, and make in every phase I meet marks of weakness, marks of woe. It is in the poem London by Blake. Please read these poems on your own. Major poems, please read. Will you remember? Identify the wrong pair. Madam Slipslop, Joseph Andrews. Molly Seagrim, Tom Jones. Captain William Booth, Amelia. Bliffle Shamala, Bolo. Slipslop is in Joseph Andrews. Molly Seagrim is in Tom Jones. Captain William Booth is in Amelia. Bliffle is not in Shamela. Bliffle is in Tom Jones. That's right, everybody. Bliffle is in Tom Jones. Sailing to Byzantium by W.B. Yeats is a poem about a journey to Athens, Jerusalem, Constantinople, Baghdad. Bolo. Sailing to Byzantium is about a journey to the capital of the Byzantine Empire, which is Constantinople or Istanbul. Constantinople or Istanbul. Will you remember, guys? Then, in his poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree, W.B. Yeats describes a small cabin made of the Lake Isle of Innisfree. Here, W.B. Yeats describes a small cabin made of, is it bricks and mortar, clay and wattles, bamboo and hay, planks and rope? It is clay and wattles. A small cabin made of clay and wattles. Which poem by W.B. Yeats opens with a description of a howling storm? A howling storm. It is a symbol. This howling storm is a symbol of all the trouble happening in Ireland. Howling storm is the symbol of all the trouble happening in Ireland. It is a prayer for my daughter. A prayer for my daughter. The poem Ash Wednesday by T.S. Eliot has parallels with the poem Ash Wednesday by T.S. Eliot has parallels with, do you know, it is about religion, it is about sinfulness. Yes, it is Dante's Purgatorio. It is Dante's Purgatorio. The poem Ash Wednesday by T.S. Eliot. Will you remember that, guys? It is a poem that is called Conversion Poem. T.S. Eliot converted to Anglicanism in 1927. And Ash Wednesday is called his Conversion Poem. Will you remember? Ta-da-dang. The poem Journey of the Magi by T.S. Eliot describes the journey to see Jesus as dash. The poem Journey of the Magi by T.S. Eliot describes the journey to see Jesus as dash. Is it miraculous and life-affirming? Fast-paced and luxurious, painful and tedious? None of these. Bolo. It is painful and tedious. Journey of the Magi by T.S. Eliot. The journey is painful and tedious, and after seeing Christ, it becomes miraculous. Before he sees Christ, the journey is painful and tedious. Will you remember, guys? Ta-da-dang! Little Gidding is the dash poem of T.S. Eliot's 4 quartets. Little Gidding is the dash poem of T.S. Eliot's 4 quartets. Little Gidding is the Which poem is it? First, second, third, or fourth? Four quartets are Burnt Norton, East Coker, Dry Salvages, and Little Gidding. Burnt Norton, East Coker, Dry Salvages, and Little Gidding. So, fourth poem. It is the fourth poem. Will you remember? A Christmas Oratorio is the subtitle of which poem by W.H. Auden? A Christmas Oratorio is the subtitle of which poem by W.H. Auden? Is it Funeral Blues, A Christmas Oratorio? For the Time Being, A Christmas Oratorio? The Unknown Citizen, A Christmas Oratorio? It is For the Time Being. For the Time Being, A Christmas Oratorio. Will you remember? The Age of Anxiety is a poem by W.H. Auden, which comprises how many parts? The Age of Anxiety is a poem that comprises how many parts? Age of Anxiety. Is it 4, 5, 6, 3? It is. Age of Anxiety has 6 parts. Will you remember? Age of Anxiety has 6 parts. Musée des Beaux-Arts is a poem by W.H. Auden. Do you know in which year was it composed? That year he was staying with Christopher Isherwood. Musée des Beaux-Arts was composed in which year? That year he was staying with Christopher Isherwood. Do you know the answer? It is the year 1938. Do you know the importance of that year? It is the year just before he emigrated to New York. In 1939, he emigrated to New York. Under Milkwood by Dylan Thomas was composed as a dash. Under Milkwood by Dylan Thomas. Have you heard? Under Milkwood. Yes, some of you are saying that Auden and Christopher Isherwood wrote together Dog Beneath the Skin or Where is Francis? Yes. Yes, guys, Under Milkwood was composed as a radio drama. Under Milkwood was composed as a radio drama. Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night is a poem by Dylan Thomas in the form of a dash. Do not go gentle into that good night is a poem by Dylan Thomas composed in the form of a villanelle. Villanelle is a genre, isn't it? Villanelle. Deaths and Entrances is a volume of poetry by Dylan Thomas. Do you know when it was published? It's his most famous collection. Deaths and Entrances is Dylan Thomas's most famous collection. When was it published, guys? Just after the end of the Second World War. Deaths and Entrances was published just after the end of the Second World War. Henna? Sorry guys. Ta-da-dang! This play of Girish Karnad came out in 1961. It was written on his way to England, and it is very much like Antigone. Which is the play like Antigone? It is a reinterpretation of an ancient myth. It identified the play. He was writing it on his way to England. Identify the play. The play is Yayati. Yayati is also the reinterpretation of a myth. It was written on his way to England. Will you remember, guys? Ta-da-dang! He was a recipient of 1998 Jnanpith Award. His drama, The Fire and the Rain, everybody knows. Agni Varsha draws from an episode in the Mahabharata. He has also employed the folk theatre form of Yakshagana in one of his plays. Ta-da-dang! It is Girish Karnad. Girish Karnad, very good. Girish Karnad is the recipient of 1998 Jnanpith Award. Tughlaq is structured on contraries and deft intrigue. It's a historical play dealing with the last 5 years of the 14th century Mughal Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Do you know the year in which the action of the play begins in Delhi? The year in which the action of the play begins in Delhi. Bolo. Wow, the last 5 years in the life of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The play begins in the year 1327. 1327. Very good. Then, Grimace, Midnight Children, Shame, Enchantress of Florence. Ta-da-dang. Yo, 1 minute, guys. I will correct it. Okay, guys. 1 minute, guys. Ta-da-dang. Sorry, it got messed up. Ye bolo, what is the year? Grimace which year? बोलो अभी ठीक है ना? Grimace which year? That is right, guys. Grimace is 1975. Very good. Grimace is 1975. So 1-4. 2-1 Midnight Children. 1981. 3-2 Shame is 2008. Enchantress of Florence. Nahi. 3-2 means Shame is 1983. Enchantress of Florence is 2008. Got it, guys? Grimace 1975, Midnight Children 1981, Shame is 1983, Enchantress of Florence is 2008. That's right. It is the third published novel of Salman Rushdie. The story takes place in a town called KEA, fictitious version of KEA in Pakistan. The characters include members of Shakil, Hyder and Harappa families. Identify the novel. 3 families: Omar Khayyam Shakil, General Raza Hyder, Iskandar Harappa, their families. Set in the town called KEA. That is Shame. Shame, will you remember? Ta-da-dang! Which novel by Salman Rushdie is divided into 4 parts? A House Divided, Malabar Masala, Bombay Central, and the 4th I can't say because that is the title. It is The Moor's Last Sigh. Moor's Last Sigh is partly set in Bombay, hai na? Moor's Last Sigh. Okay. Then, who upholds the principle that woman is not fit for independence and plays an important role in the prosecution of Benare in the play Silence, the Court is in Session. Who upholds the principle woman is not fit for independence. I will give you a clue, guys. It is a lawyer. It is Sukhatme. He's a very patriarchal man, Sukhatme. Then, what is the occupation of Sakharam in the play written by Vijay Tendulkar? Everybody knows. Occupation of Sakharam. Sakharam binder. So he is a book binder. Sakharam binder. Now, oh, again problem. Sorry, guys. Bolo. Match the plays with the themes. Match the plays with the themes. Khasiram Kotwal. A Friend's Story. Vultures and Kadambari. I'm doing YouTube live. I'll call you. Bolo. Khasiram Kotwal. What is the theme of Khasiram Kotwal? Political violence it is. Khasiram Kotwal, political violence. A Friend's Story. Same-sex attraction. Vultures, family structure violence. So answer is 1. Khasiram Kotwal, political violence. A Friend's Story, same-sex attraction. Vultures, morally collapsed family structure and violence. Kadambari, sexual fantasies of an aging man. These are the 4 plays of contemporary period with these themes. Now, match the characters with the works in which they appear. You have to match the characters with the works. Ye bolo. I'm just formatting it so that you can read. Match the characters with the works. Bolo. Dance like a man. Who are the characters? Are you able to see, guys? Dance like a man. Who are the characters? Jairaj and Ratna. Bravely fought the queen. Who are the characters? Trivedi family. Do you remember? On a muggy night in Mumbai happens in the flat of Kamlesh. And 30 days in September. Mala and Shanta. So, 1D, 2C, 3A, 4B. Once again, dance like a man. Jairaj and Ratna. Bravely fought the queen. Trivedi family. On a muggy night in Mumbai. Kamlesh. And 30 days in September. Mala and Shanta. Mango Souffle is an adaptation of which seminal play by Mahesh Dattani? Ye bolo, Mango Souffle is an adaptation of which major play by Mahesh Dattani? Mango Souffle is an adaptation of On a Muggy Night in Mumbai. Mango Souffle is an adaptation of On a Muggy Night in Mumbai, which is the story taking place in Kamlesh's flat. Kamlesh's sister is going to marry his former homosexual partner. That is the theme, isn't it? Yes. Which of the following is a radio play by Mahesh Dattani? We know the radio play by Dylan Thomas is... Which is the radio play by Dylan Thomas? Under Milkwood. Which is the radio play by Mahesh Dattani? 7 Circles Round the Fire. 7 Circles Round the Fire. Walking with the Comrades is an eyewitness account by the author about the Naxalite Maoist insurgency. Walking with the Comrades is an eyewitness account of the author about the Naxalite Maoist insurgency based on the time spent with guerrillas, communist guerrillas, deep within the forests of rural Chhattisgarh. Who is the author? It is Arundhati Roy. It is Arundhati Roy. Anjum is a major character in which of the works by Arundhati Roy? Anjum is a major character in which of the works by Arundhati Roy? It is The Ministry of Utmost Happiness. Anjum is a trans woman. Anjum is a trans woman. The Ibis trilogy is a work of historical fiction set in the first half of the 19th century. Ibis trilogy, historical fiction set in the first half of the 19th century, concerns the Opium War. Who is the author? It is Amitav Ghosh. Ibis trilogy, Amitav Ghosh, of course. Which are the 3 novels of Ibis trilogy? Sea of Poppies, River of Smoke, Flood of Fire. Which of the following is not a work by Amitav Ghosh? Which of the following is not a work by Amitav Ghosh? It is Palace of Illusions. Palace of Illusions is by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. It is based on Mahabharata. Which novel concerns the story of Antar, who lives in New York at some point in the future and works in the International Water Council? It is the Calcutta Chromosome, Antar Murugan, about malaria parasites. The Sword and the Sickle is the final part of the trilogy by Mulk Anand. The trilogy deals with the story of a Sikh peasant, Lal Singh, who fights in the First World War for the British. Which are the other 2 novels in the trilogy? The Sword and the Sickle is the last. It is The Village, Across the Black Waters, and The Sword and the Sickle. The 3 novels in the trilogy are The Village, Across the Black Waters, and The Sword and the Sickle. All right. Which of the following does not lend an autobiographical account of Mulk Anand? Many of these are autobiographical works by Mulk Anand. One of these works is not an autobiographical work of Mulk Anand. Which is that? It is Black Jasmine. Black Jasmine. Conversations in Bloomsbury is by Mulk Anand. Morning Phase is by Mulk Anand. Pilpali Sahab is by Mulk Anand. All are autobiographical. Among other themes, Kantapura also throws light on classist system of the village, which marginalized class is mentioned in the novel. In Kantapura, which marginalized class is mentioned? Is it Harijans, the Mahars, Parayas, or Ahirvars? Kantapura throws light on the classist system, class system. It is the Parayas. Paraya. Identify the earliest work of R.K. Narayan from the ones given below. The man-eater of Malgudi, the vendor of sweets, the painter of signs, a tiger for Malgudi. Many of these are later works. Bolo, which is the earliest? It is the man-eater of Malgudi. Please look up the chronology of all these writers. It's very, very important. Which among the following is true based on tradition and the individual talent? Which among the following is true based on tradition and the individual talent? Tradition in the true sense can be easily inherited. Is it correct? No. Tradition cannot be inherited. Tradition can be artificially acquired. Is it true? No. Tradition can be obtained by hard labor. Is it correct? Yes. Tradition can be obtained by hard labor. Is correct. Tradition can be imitated. No, that is not correct. Who attacked Gayatri Spivak's insistence on subaltern silence? Who attacked Gayatri Spivak's insistence on subaltern silence? It is Benita Perry. Benita Perry. Please read about it. And the 50th question for today. Philosophy of Symbolic Forms is a work associated with, it's a tough question, guys. Philosophy of Symbolic Forms, tough question. It is Ernest Cassirer. Just look it up. For fun, I'm giving you that question, okay? So that brings us to the end of this session. Except the last question. Did you like the other questions? Last question was really tough. Other questions were really useful. Thank you very much. Good night. See you on Monday. Okay, next will be on Monday. Okay, bye-bye, guys. I hope you liked the video. Did you like the video, everybody? Or 100 people are watching, only 54 likes. Please like the video, will you? Will you please like the video, guys? Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you. Are you liking the video? I hope you are liking the video. Okay. Bye-bye then. See you. See you on Monday.